For people who don't understand, let me tell you what it's about. On Saturday the 4th of April, Newstalk is hosting a 5k race in Leixlip in County Kildare in benefit of the Bumbulance, which is an absolutely brilliant charity. It's €10 to enter the race, and 100% of the money from the event is going to go to Bumbulance. So you can see more about this online, newstalk.com/BK5K, and you can also get the link on the Newstalk Facebook page to sign up and start your training. It's not too late. If you didn't start training last week, there were 3 runs in our training schedule last week for you. It's not too late to start now. So in studio to tell us more is the fitness and running expert Gillian Hynes of Body Project. How are you, Gillian?
Very well, thank you.
You see, that's how it's done, Ivan. Okay. Anyway, so tell us, let's first of all talk about people who did or maybe only did 2 of the 3 runs that you prescribed last Monday. They're still on track. They can still do this 5k. Do not give up on week 1.
Totally, and actually anybody who's listening and hearing about this for the first time, or maybe was thinking about doing this last week for whatever reason didn't manage to, it's still not too late to start actually. And I would say now's the week to do it though. Don't leave it till next week. Get out there this week. And equally, if you only did 1 or 2 of the runs last week, that's not going to be a problem. Just get to it this week.
We're going to turn it up a bit. We're going to talk today specifically about eating and timing of eating and runs. So you see people, even though it's still dark early on, you see people out in all types of fog and cold and all of that stuff doing the runs. I just think respect when I'm driving in the evening and I see these people run along the River Liffey or whatever it is. But tell us about planning your eating around your run.
I think the most important thing actually when it comes to the eating around, especially around a couch to 5k, is comfort. So what you don't want to be is heading out starving, and you don't want to be stuffed. And I would actually say being starving would be the lesser of the 2 evils. Because if you go out with a full stomach or anything close to a full stomach, you're going to know very quickly. You're going to be very uncomfortable. You're probably going to get a stitch, and God knows you're probably going to want to stop your run altogether. So it's not a good feeling. So if anything, I would go out slightly hungry as opposed to full. What I'd also say to people is wait a good few hours after a big meal before you head out. So you'd be surprised, even 2 or 3 hours mightn't be enough. You might even need 4 hours before you feel that meal has completely cleared from your system. So do just wait a few hours after a big meal.
So for people who are running, the most 2 likely times of the day are either going to be the start of the day for some people or else the end of the day for the majority of people. So you're planning out to have something good like porridge early on. I've seen people in here who are planning on going to the gym this afternoon already had salmon or scrambled eggs or things like that. People are trying to plan the, I suppose, load at the start of the day so that they are not full later on.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's back to that. It's having, your meal and then waiting a few hours for your run. Now, of course, if someone's getting up really early in the morning, they're not going to have a big meal and then head out, but they're probably going to want to put something in their stomach. So, something like a banana, a few even spoonfuls of a good nut butter, something like that is probably going to be enough just to make you head out the door with that little bit of a boost in your system, but not so much that you're going to be feeling sick.
How big a portion should you go for? Because I'm trying to eat 5 meals a day, but because I only eat small, I only eat small bowl of porridge, things like that, so I'm trying to eat 5 times. But let's talk about how big a portion you should go for.
So if we're talking about a snack just pre-run, I would just say literally a very modest portion. If you're having a bowl of porridge and you're heading out for a run 45 minutes later, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're probably going to get a stitch. And I see this all the time with my clients. They'll come into me and I'll know very quickly if they've eaten too much pre a workout, because quite quickly they're struggling. So it's probably going to hinder you more than help you if you've eaten too much.
What about after? I go swimming, I do 100 lengths very slowly, 25 metre pool twice a week. But the next morning, I would normally not eat during the day, but I'd be starving. Is it a real bad thing to eat too much after you've had a workout?
Well, I think it's funny with swimming, because I know that after swimming I would be starving in a way that I wouldn't be after most kind of workouts. There's something about swimming that just makes you really, really hungry. So is it a problem to eat something big after a workout? No, it's not really. But of course I'd always encourage, I work, my speciality is weight loss program. So I would always encourage people to never eat too much. I mean, too much by definition is too much. So we want to eat modest meals and fairly frequently. We want to eat, again, I've talked about this on the show before, non-processed foods. So we're just going for those lean things, proteins, good fats, lots of fruit, lots of salads, that sort of foods. That should be the mainstay of what we should be eating.
And on your run, if you're bringing a bottle of liquid, what should it be? Water?
Water. Always water. And I know, people will think of energy drinks and all these kind of things, or energy gels, energy bars. Anything that says energy on it, it typically means sugar. So, and I think a lot of people, it would be fair to say, who are doing this run would probably want to lose a few pounds. So if you're starting to, like carb load for this run, or you're, sucking back the energy drinks, you're probably going to actually gain weight. So water, it's always water. It's the baseline. It's the thing we should be drinking.
But again, you should hold back on drinking too much water, shouldn't you? Especially at the start of a run. You see people who, as soon as it starts to get a little tough, go for water, and that can actually cause a stitch on yourself as well. You can fill yourself up with it.
Yeah, look, the key to hydration is actually drinking water throughout, all day long. So whether you're going for a run or you never plan on running ever again, it is actually about, drinking water all day long and not doing a lastminute.com, drinking your water allowance all in one go just before you go for a run. You're going to be uncomfortable.
What should you eat? We've talked about portion, we've talked about timing, but give us some examples of how to eat that you will be full, you're not going to be starving, but it's going to be good food. You're not going to be going backwards on what you're trying to achieve.
Are we talking about post-run now? Or
post or pre?
Yeah.
What your best suggestions?
Well, look, what I'll always say, and I'll bang the drum again of non-processed foods, anything we should be eating should be non-refined. So the problem for many of us is we're eating these foods that are, high in sugars, they're refined, they're skyrocketing our blood sugar and then making it crash again afterwards, making us hungrier all the time. So we seem to be constantly hungry as a result. So what we want to do is stabilise our blood sugar level. So we want foods that are low GI, and these are naturally occurring foods. So you're talking about, of course we're talking about things like chicken breast or fish. We could be talking about nuts and seeds. We're talking about fruit. We're talking about vegetables. It may not seem that exciting, but actually when you get into that kind of eating, it's actually really great.
Okay, let's talk about this week's workouts, and this is all going to be online for you on newstalk.com/BK5K. First of all, the workouts, are they the same? It's a 5-minute warm-up.
It's a 5-minute warm-up, and it's always a 5-minute warm-up walks, and that's a brisk pace now. So you want to be at a pace, think about the pace you'd go at if you were in a hurry to meet a friend, okay? Yeah. So that's the kind of pace you're talking about, not an ambling kind of pace. And then this week it steps up a little bit. It goes to a 1.5-minute jog and then a 2-minute walk. So it's increasing our run time this week from 8 minutes last week to 9 minutes this week. So it's just a small incremental increase.
But the total workout time is 25 minutes. So of the 25 minutes, you have a 5-minute warm-up even, a 5-minute warm-up walking briskly, and then 90 seconds of jogging, 2 minutes of walking, 90 seconds of jogging, 2 minutes of walking, until your 25 minutes are up.
Exactly. So it's 6 times you're doing that. And again, it's just 9 minutes of jogging. And remember, everyone, it's literally the pace that you can manage. You're not going at breakneck speeds. It's the pace that's going to be right for you.
Okay, and 3 times again between now and next Monday. They are the workouts for the week ahead. All of that is online for you if you can't process it that quickly. It's all online for you on newstalk.com/BK5K. That's how you can sign up as well. And again, every cent that is made from this is going to go to the brilliant Bumbulance.